What legacy are you leaving? What do you want to pass on to the next generation? A good name, huh? That's wealth, prosperity, prestige. The point here is that these things won't last. That's what Solomon's getting to. They don't last. They can't help us with what we need the most. More precisely, who we need the most. Ecclesiastes 1:4, when he says a generation goes and a generation comes, the earth remains forever. That shows our need for Jesus Christ. Do you understand? This is what this is ultimately pointing to. Because it's Christ alone whose name is everlasting. His name is everlasting. His name is the name above all names. That's the name that lasts. His name will never be forgotten. Ever. His name, it doesn't fade and it doesn't become obsolete like everything else does. Only Christ lasts. It's His legacy that reaches all the way back to eternity past. And His legacy stretches all the way to and for all eternity. Do you understand? That's where the hope is. He's the one who chose His people before the foundation of the world. Man, that's it. In time, He gave this promise to Abraham. You talk about a lasting legacy and something that doesn't fade. That's Christ, in the name of Christ. In Genesis 22:17, He said this, I will surely bless you. I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars in heaven and as the sand that's on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of His enemies. That's the hope and the promise that we have in the Lord. All of those who are called by Jesus Christ, all those who have been purchased by His blood are part of His legacy. And if you belong to Christ, then you're His, and His name is stamped on your forehead forever. That's our purpose. That's our legacy. Genesis 22 says this. Do we have Genesis? I'm sorry, Revelation 22. Thank you. Genesis 22 all the way to Revelation 22. No longer will there be anything accursed, but the throne of God and of the Lamb will be in it. And His servants will worship Him, and they will see His face, and His name will be stamped on their foreheads. That's our hope. That's our legacy. That's what lasts. That's what doesn't become obsolete or go out of style. That we belong to Him. And you know what, man? That gives us purpose for this life. That gives us hope. That puts everything else in perspective. As much as, wealth that we might obtain, that's in perspective because we know that our happiness, our hope doesn't lie in that. Right? The entertainments of this world, it's in perspective. Everything is in perspective and under His care. Do you get that? Those things can't make you happy for the short term, yeah. Maybe for a long time. But eventually, apart from Christ, it's nothing, man. It's nothing. It's not going to save you. It's not going to give you what you need or who you need. Only in Him do these things make sense. They're there for our good and for His glory. Do you understand?